next guest is my friend, and I'm a super fan, Ryan of Titan. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be back.
Yes, round two, second time.
Yeah.
So this is really exciting. And I said, you were one of my first guests when I started the new podcast last April. So you were bearing with me when I was like, what am I doing? I think I'm figuring this out.
Oh, it's been a year already?
It's almost been a year. Yeah, it's been a really fun year too. I don't pay for concert tickets anymore. Like I should have done this years ago. I don't know what the
Oh,
hell I was thinking.
I figured you had already had all that from all the other stuff you did in the past.
No, I think once you delete all your social media and you leave that life and you're not with a station, nobody cares. They're just like, meh. And so I had to start my own platform for them to be like, oh, okay, yeah, here's an album or here's a ticket.
There's a boomer. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I'm old. I've been in the game for a while. Give me something. No. Okay, so I'm really excited. Titan Fest, Log Off Brewery. I love how much work you pour a lot of your heart and blood and sweat and tears into the music industry in Sacramento. And we're really grateful for that. And so tell us about how did you start Titan Fest? How did this come about and the next one coming up?
Okay, so the official one is the same day as Titan's first show. Because we already had an idea if that was something we were gonna do. Because this version of the band is a new version with new members, me stepping up to become the vocalist. And so we altered the name and then reestablished June 3rd, 2021 as like the actual start date of Titan. And then our first official show back was also Titan Fest because we knew that was a brand we wanted to start using eventually, like a yearly thing. And that was back in 2021. And I don't think it'll ever be something like Aftershock because I just can't see that ever being that big. But now that, huh?
That'd be so cool though.
Oh
Dream big.
yeah, exactly. Well, okay, I could kind of full circle into that, but um, what I've learned though is that like just because I can't see it, but I have the passion for it means it will happen whether I kind of want it to or not, because other people are seeing the vision, other people are seeing the dream and wanting to be on it because it's bigger than all of us. We all want to play Aftershock. And it ain't gonna ever happen unless you're like Nerve or something and you get a super awesome big hit, blow up, and then now they're just the homies that get to play all the time. So that is not gonna happen for 99% of bands.
Yeah.
That's just
It
the
is
honest
hard.
truth.
And you
So
gotta struggle and you gotta build yourself up. Like
yeah,
what you're doing is
it's
great.
kind
You
of
gotta build yourself
competition a
up.
little bit. It's a little
Yeah.
competition with and it's not as in like I'm trying to be better than everyone. It's like you just got to get lucky a little bit out of everyone else to be chosen to play Aftershock. So I thought, okay, that'll probably never happen for us. I'll just start my own thing. I'll just do my own and I'll get people to see the vision of what I'm trying to do. And that's how I work with bands. I work with specific bands. I have specific bands coming back that want to do more than just play. They're like, there's a lot of people that want to get involved with the industry. And so they're like, hey, with Titan Fest, I do this little thing over here, but can I bring my skills and my band to play? And I'm like, yes. Since you want to do two birds, one stone, I will always take bands over bands that are like, yeah, I just want to play it. Because like it's
Yeah.
not about just playing it because we're so small. We don't have funding like Aftershock has. So we're ground level, community based, supported by the community. And so it's like it's really important for people to understand the values of what Titan Fest is. And it's just homies getting together, putting their best skills into a single pot with a single vision. And that's all it is. That's why I'm available to bring bigger bands, bigger than us, at least, Reminiscence, Decay, or Dark Watch, these bigger-ish bands, because like they see the vision of what we're doing as like a smaller band, smaller act, smaller scene, and wanting to provide with bringing their audience without breaking my bank for a guarantee for them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. 'Cause it's not cheap, to put on
no,
a 2-day show.
no, but I got something really cool that I can announce on this, if that's cool.
Yeah.
So
Fuck.
yesterday, I don't know if I think you saw my story about being at that like School of Rock, like outdoor thing. So, I talked to the owners and a few of the people about it, and they're like huge fans of Titan Fest. And so they asked if they wanted to do a collaboration with us this year. And I was like, sure, what do you have in mind? And talking to the owner or the booking lady for Log Off. We're gonna do a Thursday, so it'll be day 1 technically. It's gonna be a free show for Titan Fest, and we're gonna have 3 of those their bands from School of Rock play.
Oh,
And
that's
it,
sick.
yeah, so it's just for the kids, and it's free to go, and it's just gonna be like 3 hours, like in the evening, and it's basically like a pre-party of just getting everyone set up. We're talking to all the kids. We're gonna do like a whole thing of like, this is how industry talk works. This is how we do this and this and this, and just give them a little bit more than just playing in a parking lot like that.
Yeah.
Um, and this all got decided within the last like 24 hours.
Well, congrats. If you want me to come out or help at all too, let me know. I'm always down for
Okay.
things like that, especially with
Oh,
kids.
I'm honestly, so many people, so like I'm eventually gonna ask for like a couple of people to want to come out and do a little bit of like just a little bit more, just because I don't know everything. And this is like another industry talk, is like talk to people that know more than you or have done more than you, so that you could absorb that knowledge and you know return it back to the community. That's just my whole thing.
100%. I'm still always learning and growing, like I just went back to 98 Rock and got invited for this Tim Montana show. And I wanted to talk to Abe Cannon and Paul Marshall because they have been in the industry for 10 more years than me. And so they know even more. And it's just always good to continue to respect people and sit down and learn and network. It is all about networking. As much as talent, as we talked about, and Nerve is a great band and phenomenal, a lot of it is the right place at the right time, who you meet. And when you find Danny Weimer, or he finds you and he watches my page, he's on the page. So I'm just so excited. And if he likes your band, he's like, yeah, you want to do one of my festivals. And that is a lot of bands. Nothing More took off that way, like playing a couple
Yeah.
of his festivals and then got this huge record deal. And it's cool. It's cool when that happens. I get excited.
Yeah, and like that kind of goes like with like the whole thing about like when you were talking about like a dream earlier, where it's like I made a status about this a week ago, and it was like I've achieved everything I wanted to in music as like a dream, and now that doesn't mean your life ends. If you're successful with your dream, your life doesn't end. That's when you really get to live. So um it's like now that I've achieved everything in my dream that I've ever wanted with music, now I get to live it and grow it and prosper and flourish in my dream. And that's how you find happiness in what you do. I might not be making $1 million a year, but I am touring the country. I'm putting music out. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Spotify, whatever it is that I'm doing. And I have the festival now. I'm doing it all. Now I get to just be happy in my little sea of my ocean. But
Yeah,
with,
sit
the
back and be
Dan,
proud of yourself, but also create bigger dreams then,
yeah,
new, larger dreams to jump off from.
for me it's just growing with what I have and being happy with all the new bigger stuff that comes with it. So I think I wouldn't even say it's a dream, but more of like a nerdy analytic is I just want big numbers now on my
Yeah,
on my streams. I would say that's like my dream or my next vision is just seeing the numbers. But realistically, everything else is fine. I'm satisfied with everything else because I've done it and I'm still alive. I don't know if that's weird or
yeah,
crazy
no,
to
I
say.
feel that.
Yeah, because I feel like people are like, yeah, I want to dream to be a rock star. It's like, okay, then what after? What do you mean, what after?
Yeah,
What's
or
after
like
that?
how many people when I was in Hollywood died of drug and alcohol abuse, so I feel just really grateful that I did some cool shit, but I didn't die and I got out. And
Yeah.
drugs and alcohol play a huge role because some of the most successful people, I think, almost need to dumb their brain down. That's the best way for me to put it. Like they're so talented, their brain doesn't shut off and it's always creating music and ideas. So they take drugs and alcohol to numb themselves and then they don't know that balance and they overboard it. So it be grateful that you're alive and able to create your talent and you've made it where you are. And you're young. You're young. Like, you know what I mean? You're still getting started. You're not an old grandpa.
I feel like I am.
Yeah.
I'm
That's okay.
32 now, and I'm just like, fuck, man. It took me. You know what's funny is like I said, man, I'm gonna go back to like circles with this dream thing. I've achieved my dream 8 years ago now, but I was so stuck in the idea of like, well, I'm not a rock star yet, so I haven't achieved my dream. I haven't achieved my dream. But then it was like once I hit 30, I was like, I don't fucking care anymore. Like I've done everything I wanted to do. Now I just need to see the analytics, see more numbers. That's my focus now. So I don't do drugs. This is my drug, caffeine. Um,
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, that's what I do, caffeine. But realistically, though, like I'm thinking 24/7. Like literally, as soon as I'm done with this call, I'm literally driving to Antioch for a meeting and to look up like a giant bus for our next tour. We have a tour
Oh,
that's like a month
cool.
long in August. It's like Titan Fest, and then it's a month long tour. And I'm like, I don't want to be stuck in my van for that shit. Um,
That's exciting though. That's a huge move to be cozy in a van. You'll probably play better if you sleep better too.
I, yeah, well, yeah, that's also true. But also on top of that, like it's like I don't know. It's more about like that, like because when you're driving for a month long, like you're like, dude, I just want to sleep. You can't just pull over and sleep in the van. Like you could, but you got to like talk to everybody and say, hey, can you scoot over or whatever. Nah, like if everyone has their own bunk, you just shut down, jump in the back, and pass out. Like that's the goal. Um,
That'd be
and then we have a
sick.
new record coming out too. So it's like this whole like from here till Titan Fest, it's all Titan Fest, and then it's put like finishing the record and putting it out. And like that's why we haven't done any local shows. We've only done shows outside of Sacramento, just because it's like I don't want to focus on trying to do pre-sales in my city when I'm already doing 4 other things. And the Titan Fest, it only takes a lot of energy out of me because I do everything myself. And it says, and like my bandmates have been
Yeah.
slowly getting better with helping me, but at the end of the day, I'm an impatient person. I'm just like go 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 go.
Me too, though. And I feel like when it's your baby, you have the vision you want and you work really hard. So it's hard for me to give other people responsibility or work. Like my friends, like I know an editor and stuff. I'm like, no, I want to interview, I want to edit from the ground up because I know the vision of how I want the podcast to look. But sometimes we do need help from other people. By the way, speaking of bandmates, you got a really hot bass player. How did you find her? How did that come about? She's
Um,
gorgeous.
it's funny because like all of us, we roast the shit out of her because she's like a little sister. So when people tell us that, I'm like, that's like my little sister. Like kind of weird. Like I don't know. I think it's just because when
Yeah.
we were I'll go back to that. So we found her because we opened up for Ice at the Kill, and that's her like all-time favorite band, which is also my all-time favorite band besides Bring Me the Horizon. Anyways, so she's in line, and I was like out there, and I was just talking to everybody in line and like all my friends, and then she's like, "Oh, you guys are playing? You're the opening band?" We're like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, like I'll check you guys out." I was like, "Sick." And then she watched our set, and she's like, "You guys are fucking so cool." And I was like, "Well, that's really cool." And then like a couple weeks later, my bass player, he left the band, and she like saw a story about it, and she's like, what happened with your bass player? You guys are a 4-piece now? And I was like, oh yeah, we don't have a bass player. She's like, oh, I've been playing bass for like 10 years. And I was like, bet, come over on Saturday and try out. And she's like, seriously? I was like, yeah. And then she came over that Saturday and she taught herself 2 of our songs within that week. and
Wow.
and like she was really scared because she was like, oh man, like I'm a girl in metal and I don't really know, like I don't know. She was really nervous about it. And when she walked through the door and all of us are in the room, she was like, oh, this is like a real thing. And we're like, yeah, we just want you to play the song. And she's like, that's it. And we're like, just play the song with us. She's like, okay. She played the song and we just kept playing. And then she was like, you just need a bass player. I was like, yeah. I was like, nobody cares that you're a girl in this situation. We care that you're a bass player first.
Yes.
And then we just
I
all
care
were
though,
like,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I'd rather watch a really fine chick playing on stage than all dudes. I do. I'm like, that's badass.
it's cool with me. Like, she has a bunch of friends that support her and like come out. We do on our YouTube channel, we have five, 5 or 6. No, I think we have like 8 videos of her talking about all the different songs and how she joined and everything like that. Um, so like there's like a whole thing of like her talking about, because like that's what I do. I like everyone in the band to have their own individual moment, their own
Yeah.
voice being heard. Because I feel like most bands only focus on one person or 2, and
And
like
I
it's not
want it to
about
be
that.
relatable. I wanna know more about the people and not just like the music, but that's, I mean, why I like to interview band members is how are you outside of the stage and as a person, and what are you into? And sometimes I'll end up liking the band more and the music more when I find out I relate to somebody in the band.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense because like it's kind of like those things. Well, it's really fickle because sometimes it's like you don't want to meet your heroes. Sometimes because you find out they're
It
so
could
shitty, you're
ruin
like,
it. There
ah.
is a couple bands that have been dicks that I'm like, "Oh, no, I don't like their music anymore." So, yeah, that it's more rare, but I see Kitty. Kitty!
Featuring
Um,
Cat.
so Spirit Breaker is out now, and that's an awesome single. When's you're gonna do a whole new album soon?
Yeah, so the next record is 6 songs. Spirit Breaker is the first single off of it, but that was more of like, hey, we just dropped this record that has 10 okay. Has 10 songs on it, and then we were kind of thinking like, you know what? Let's drop a single to kind of like show people like it's not just an album we put out, we have more music. So we dropped the single with Jay on it from Reminiscence, and then yeah, this whole we have this whole thing with like how do I say it? Um a couple albums that we're doing, they're all tied together. So the first one is called The Human Experience. The second one is called The Death Experience. And it's a shorter a record, but that's because with The Human Experience, it was like half of it is the human experience and the other half was like singles we put out. And then we're like, fuck it, let's just put it all together. But like the real record version is only 6 songs of the human experience. And then so we were following suit, Death Experience, 6 songs, super sad shit. And it's a concept record.
That's
Um,
really cool.
and we
Okay.
might put one cover on it just to throw people off. But I don't know if I want to do that because then it's going to taint the, the seriousness of the record.
I don't think so. And, sometimes young people don't even know it's a cover sometimes, and they just like the song and the lyrics so good. And then other times is too, you guys can put a twist on the cover so good that you don't even compare it to the original.
Yeah, I don't, I don't, how do I say this? Um, okay, so we're like tossed up. I don't know if I should even say this. I mean, it doesn't matter. But we were tossed up between well, because okay, so for Titan Fest, because day 1 we're playing the human experience in full, and then day 2 we're playing the death experience in full. But since it's shorter, we're gonna put 2 covers. So the 2 covers that we're thinking about doing, we're thinking about actually professionally recording one of them and then putting them out. That way, that's at least done. Um, but it's a toss up between Animals by Nickelback
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, and Surfacing by Slipknot.
Okay, I like both of those songs, but I would have not have pegged your band to do Animals by Nickelback. I really wanna hear that. I just think
We've
that
been
sounds
like
cool.
jamming it and like it sounds pretty good. I'm not the best singer. I just do really like mediocre vocal screams. But like with David, he could sing and like he has like a little bit of a grit voice than I do when he does like that style of singing. So we've been kind of slowly meshing them together to try to get a good because I don't want to do the cover unless we're like 100% on time, perfect, like if we wrote it. So it's weird singing those lyrics because I'm like,
They're hot
because
lyrics. They're hot
yeah, in my
lyrics.
mind, I'm like, do I act this way on stage? Because my mom and dad are going to be at this show watching.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Go
No,
crazy.
my mom, she's so funny. The other day, well, because I've been single for a while now, and so the other day, or no, yesterday when I was like with her, she was like, "Yo, the lady at the dog grooming thing, like she's single, blah blah," and I was like, "Mom, don't please don't." And then I was like, I want to see what this girl looks like now. And I saw a picture of her. I was like, Mom, don't ever, ever, ever try to find me a girlfriend ever in my life. And I was
It
like,
wasn't your type?
it was so far off. She's like, well, she just has a full-time job. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I
Yeah.
would rather stay single and have what I have than date somebody just because they have a job. She's like, well,
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
speaking about being single, I feel like I related to you because I've seen some of your posts. I feel like you and I were okay being single, but when we do fall in love with someone, we're like head over heels, nuts, like this is my world. And so I think that's good for you as a musician and writing lyrics, though. And I think a lot of people in the arts are more passionate and vulnerable, but I love your dedication. Like when you fall in love, you're like, this is it. And that's what I'm like, I'm getting married tomorrow. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
da. And then like 3 months later, I'm like, oh, they lied to me. They were rude. They were an asshole. This is over. And I just don't care. I'll just post it.
Yeah, I've had a few people be like, "Man, you need to stop, doing that." I'm like, "Well, I'm fuck. Oh,
No.
sorry. Stop being myself. All right, I got you. Don't worry about it." But
Yes.
I will say, I do need to be a little bit more professional though when it comes to like just how much. Well, okay, so yesterday was a good
Details of
example.
your personal trust me, like, once you get older, the details of your personal life, I'll post someone, especially if they feel uncomfortable with the page and how wild it is, so I'll post them, but then I try not to go into details of, like, "Okay, this is why we broke up," or, that
Oh,
information.
I
It's
don't
like
care about that. I tell people because I would rather someone at least know, oh, that's what happened than not know. But like, long
yeah.
story short, the last person I dated, they had unhealed trauma, and then they just like literally like kept like uh they weren't watering our relationship. And so like I was
Mm.
like struggling to try to like find out what's going on, and then come to find out they were just like, I'm so stuck on my ex. And I was like, oh hell yeah. The last 6 months I've been like just
I'm
trying. It was a one-sided relationship for
sorry.
6 months. And I was like, that's awesome. And she had kids too. So I got attached to her kids.
That's hard. That's why I don't introduce anyone to my kids. Like someone hasn't met my kids for over a year. Like I've dated for 2 or 3 month relationships, but it takes a long time to meet my kids. And I was in a long distance thing, but I was kind of thinking more serious and it's so complicated and this person like I think they love themselves more than anybody. You know, I'm not even saying they're a bad person or that they have someone else. No, I think they're literally obsessed with themselves. So they just don't have the time and energy to pour into someone else's cup right now. And I'm such a
Yeah.
giver. I want to be met. I want my needs to be matched in the middle. And when I'm giving, I want someone to give back as well.
Yeah. Or at least just be communicative about certain things. Cause like that's the other thing is communication is like so key. And like being in
Mm-hmm.
I like now that I'm older and I hit like I said, I hit that threshold of like I just don't fucking care. It's like I know what I want. I don't settle. Like it when as soon as she fucking said she was like, I just read the text. It was like, I think it's best we both go our separate ways, up hurting each other. As soon as I didn't even read the rest of it, I just deleted, blocked, fucking bye. Bye. Like I am 32, and that was something we always talked about. Was like I was like, just tell me what's going on, like whatever. I gave her the passwords and emails to all my social media. I gave her
Dang.
my GPS.
Dang.
I gave her or my GPS. I gave her my look everything because I wanted to prove to her.
Location.
Yeah, well, because I'm a musician and I'm the vocalist of a band. People are like, "Oh man, all these girls slide into your DMs," which is something we talked about the last time I was on here. And I was like,
Yeah.
"No." I was like, "It does not happen for me like that." And I wanted to prove that point with my girlfriend. Like, here you go. And if anybody tries to slide in, you'll be the first person to see it and say, "Well, I could clearly see this girl tried and he didn't reply. He didn't say anything. He didn't start it." I wanted to have that trust
Mm,
with her. And so what
yeah.
I've been learning is staying faithful and staying faithful to myself solo so that if I find somebody, I don't even have to cut anyone off. I don't have to have that feeling of like, oh man, someone's going to text me an inappropriate photo at 3 a.m. or some shit like that. You know, I don't want that because I got so much other shit going on. I got the
I am so
festival, my
on board and
band.
I used to have a roster for sure back in the day and now I'm so like that. I don't have anybody. Like my phone is dry and I love that because I don't think you're completely open to love if you are even sexting or have a situationship or whatever it is. I think you need to be completely raw and open like if it and then not be in a rush and focusing on yourself and elevating yourself is like
Yeah.
the goal. I like how much
Well,
Oh yeah, wait, sorry, what?
no, no, I was gonna say, I was like, well, you have your podcast and your show, and you're from last year to now, you have kind of like Chris,
Yeah.
your guys' podcasts and stuff have launched like so quick, and
It grew a
it's
lot,
because
and
you've
now I'm so busy. I love it.
yeah, but that's what you want. You're like, and if love finds you along the way, then you either embrace it or you don't, and that's a whole ass other conversation. Embracing your situation.
Being open to it too. So, okay, I wanted to talk about Aftershock because we're both in
Yeah.
Sacramento 2025. I'm so excited. I just went to Deftones last night. They were phenomenal, blew me away as usual. You brought up before we started, and I am thinking, but we will see because the lineup comes out March 5th, which is this Wednesday. I'll be announcing it and posting it. I know Chris at Mosh Pit Podcast will as well. That we don't know if Deftones will be playing Aftershock because they just sold out the Golden One Center. So I'm curious to see if they're going to be on the lineup because that's just in October. Who do you think will be on the lineup for Aftershock?
Uh Seeing the same thing. Well, if you just follow the suit of
Mhm,
like how the festivals always are, it's a variation. Bad Omens, Bring the Horizon, Slaughter to Prevail.
mhm.
Then you got like for even bigger, I think Foo Fighters is probably gonna come back eventually. They haven't been around in a long ass time. So Foo Fighters most likely. We just did Slayer, so they're not them.
I think Marilyn Manson for sure because he's been on
Oh,
Louder Than Life
Ozzy.
now.
I think
Oh,
Ozzy's coming
Ozzy.
back. Yeah, I
I
think
want Alice
Sabbath and
Cooper,
Ozzy. Oh, Alice Cooper would be a good one.
and then Crossfade's gonna play. I know it because they're playing his other festivals, and they're coming back hard, and I'm such a fan of this really old band
And
that
that's what I'm thinking. Why? That's kind of like where I got my idea with like the whole Bad Omens and Bring Me the Horizon thing. Oh my God, have you ever seen my picture with Bad Omens at the boardwalk?
No, I wanna see. I have
Yeah,
to go check it out.
I'll have to. I don't know if it's
Is it on your page?
Yeah, I don't know if it's hidden or not. I have to look. I'm pretty sure it's not hidden. But anyways, yeah, no, I saw them play their first time ever in Sacramento, and it was at the boardwalk, and there was only like 4 people there, and I
Dude,
was one of
isn't
them.
that crazy?
Yeah,
I
and
saw
I still talk
Jeffree
to his face
Star
to
at the
him.
boardwalk, and there was like 12 people to watch Jeffree Star perform. And now he's like a billionaire with a ranch and a makeup line. So that's cool.
I always think back whenever someone brings up Weird Al, you're the first person I think of
Thank you.
immediately. And
Thank
somebody
you.
posted a festival flyer with Weird Al on it.
Yes. I thought
Was it
that was
you
so
that shared
cool.
it?
I did too. I know everyone around my circle was it was like Deftones, My Chemical Romance, and Weird Al Yankovic got on a rock festival, and that was so funny. That doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, nope, Stephanie. Like
I'm like the
just
only one
immediately.
that's been obsessed with Weird Al since the 90s. And everyone's like, well, I'm just like, he's so hot and funny. He's like my first crush, though. You know, like when you have a first crush when you're a little kid, like it never goes
Yeah.
away. I
Uh,
absolutely, I
I
love
just
him.
actually I was just talking to my band to my drummer about this last night and my guitar player and because we're talking about like celebrity crushes, whatever. And I was like, I don't have one. And like, you don't? And I was like, no, I
No.
don't. And well, and they were like, why? And I was like, well, because I don't like living in a headspace of like wanting to be like not I want to say wanting to be with somebody, but like idolizing somebody, being like, oh my God, like this girl's so hot and attractive. And then if I date somebody and they ever found out, I don't know if they might have an insecurity of being like, fuck, I don't look like that girl. I'll never look like that girl. And then I just accidentally hurt my significant other by having this stupid, silly crush. And because it's happened twice before. And I was like, well,
Okay.
and so it kind of I try so hard not to hurt people. I try so hard to not make somebody feel insecure. Like I said, like being in this position of being a front man, I've learned that it takes a really strong girl to be like I know he's not doing nothing. I know he'll no, and it's hard to find that.
I think
Um
you have a big heart, though. I would trust you that you're not the lead singer cheater, lead singer syndrome. But
n-
and like, so my crushes don't make sense to anyone, and I wouldn't want anyone to compare looks wise because I'm so mentally attracted. When someone is really smart and funny and goofy, that's what turns me on. So it's like I like Weird Al to Tim Dillon, and I think people would be like, "What the fuck?"
I
But
mean, yeah, true.
that's my I know, like, I think they're both hot and funny and smart and goofy. I like silly, like, you don't take yourself so serious all the time. That's me. So, that's, like,
Yeah.
my type.
No, that makes sense. I just I could appreciate someone's looks and be like, oh, I see why people think that person's attractive.
Yeah.
I'm more of like and like that kind of like same thing with guys. Like I don't go that way, but I could see when girls like, oh my God, that guy's so hot. I'm like, well, I fucking see why. I wish I was
Men are
looking
more
like that dude.
visual too, like, just your
100%.
brain's wired to be more visual and look and, like, I think women, we do worry about, like, a provider and safety, and there's, like, other things than just turn I mean, I will turn my head and be like, "Damn, I get why women like that guy, like, that's a good-looking guy," but I'm not gonna probably chase after him or wanna settle down just because it's a 10 out of 10 dude, if that makes sense.
Shit, maybe that's why I'm single. I'm 2 10 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding.
That you're too fine and people
Too
can't
fine.
look. No, that's cute. I like it. Okay, can I ask you this
Yes.
or that questions?
Yes.
Okay. Would you choose between going to Cafe Colonial or Old Ironsides?
Cafe Colonial.
Okay. What about Harlow's or Goldfield Midtown?
Am I okay for Harlow's? Is it downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
Uh, go Phil Midtown.
So do you like upstairs, the Starlight Lounge better?
It's not necessarily that. I just kind of think about um I've played both stages and I have friends at both bars. Harlow's always seems way more expensive.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's really it depends
Kind
because
of
if it's emo
expensive. Do you
night,
think it's cozier though upstairs?
well, no, I'm talking about for downstairs. Upstairs, I've only been up there like twice, and it was like not, it wasn't a big deal to me. But for downstairs, so I prefer downstairs, Harlow's for emo night than any other venue because you have the outdoor area and they have like the
Yeah.
rotating bands. But when it comes to like shows, I prefer Midtown for shows.
Yeah. Yeah. Um Okay. Do you think you can meet a potential partner to date at a show?
No,
Okay. No, I'm surprised.
I don't want to date anyone in my scene. Never.
You know what? I don't really wanna ever again, even though I just did a couple
That's
months
what okay,
ago,
that's what I didn't
date
wanna say
someone in my
again, but yeah.
industry. Yeah, because,
Well,
like, I'm bumping into him and he's coming up on my For You page, and it's like, you can't escape when they're in your industry.
I just recently
Ugh.
oh, this was like a this is a oh, wait, do you have any more? I'll
Yeah,
wait to okay.
yeah,
Okay, well, so long story short, there's a girl I dated, and she wasn't in the scene until we started dating, and now she knows everybody. She's dating this dude in the scene, and I was like, that sucks because I've seen them a few times now, and
yeah.
he's like a friend of mine, but he shared the flyer for Titan Fest, and he was like, "Yo, homies are all playing this thing, like and I was like, wow, that's really nice of you. And so I messaged him. I was like, hey, dude, I know you're dating my ex. I just want to let you know, like, I hope you guys are happy. She has a big heart. She's had a hard life. And you're a really good dude. So just, just want you guys know, like, if you see me at a show, I don't want weird vibes. Like, I support you guys, just be good to each other. And he's like, oh man, things are great. I really appreciate that, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dude, I just want you guys to be happy. Like, she's a good person. She's had a hard life. You're a good dude. Just be nice to each other.
Well,
And
that
then
was
he's like,
nice
oh,
of you.
yeah, because I just don't care, man. I don't fucking care. I have
I don't
no
either. Like, if I broke up with someone, I'm not talking shit. I just wish them the best. It didn't work for a reason. But
yeah.
I've only been in serious relationships with people in LA and San Diego more recently. So I don't even have like a serious relationship in Sacramento in this area. I don't know.
Yeah, I that
I try
was
to make it
the
harder on myself, I guess, and travel.
no, it's good. Like I don't know, I just kind of don't care anymore. Cuz and that was like something that I talked to my guitar player about. I'm like, dude, like if I find someone ever again, I want to like have no like, oh, yeah, I still have my ex on Facebook or oh, I still, have them on it.
Mhm.
Like if they follow me, that's nothing I can do unless I go out of my way to go find out. Like I don't want to do all that shit. But I could control what I do and who
Yeah.
I see. And I feel like that's just really important. But anyways, okay, besides
Yeah. Okay.
that.
Okay, next question.
Yep.
Your best advice for bands just starting out?
Uh, Document every show you play. Find out however many attended it. Be honest with those numbers. Um, and write down how much you got paid for the show, and write down and add on if it was a guarantee that was settled or just door split. I have every show. I kind of wish I could bring this up. But I
That's
have
really
every
responsible of you.
Yeah, well, I was so Jay from Reminiscence, he's the one that told me that. But he told me that last year. So I was like, fuck, I have to go back a couple of years of like trying to find all my things. I spent like hours trying to like remember the best I could of how many people were at these shows and how much we made. And like, cause I was even going through like all of our digital sales, trying to like remember like, oh, we sold like
You're so
$300 here.
responsible for a rock star. You've got Excel spreadsheets and you're writing down all the numbers of
I
how
have
much you've
everything.
made.
I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd about it. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's good
Oh man,
advice.
if I could share screen, I would show you what I'm talking about. But that's what I would say. Document, just it's like just your show history, so that when you pitch yourself to, like a touring a band or whatever that's coming through, you say, hey, I would love to play for your, open up for you guys. We've played here 5 times. This is my show history. And every time we played there, we sold, 70 pre-sales, and then total walk in the door was 180 people, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then you tell them like, oh, like we made this much money. And then also when you're working with a label or a booking agent, they could see, oh, they sell really good in these areas. They do this and this and this. They've done all this stuff. It just helps kind of like, so that you don't have to type it out 10 times. Oh, we've done all these shows. These are all the flyers we have. You just send that link, boom. And then
That makes
they decide,
sense.
yeah.
You're like
Um
your own agent.
100 okay, so that's another thing. Titan Fest. When bands are like, "Oh, how do we play Titan Fest?" I'm like, 3 big things. One, you email me your EPK with your show history sheet and 2 songs that are the closest of what you currently sound like. The next thing is attend the fucking festival and support everyone else. That like those are the 2 biggest thing. And the third biggest thing is just introduce yourself to me or my team in person, because I have a lot of people would assume that I don't watch or don't pay attention, but I do. I ask everyone questions. As soon as a band hits me up, oh, can we play Titan Fest? I look at everything they have. I look up if they've ever went to my shows, if they've ever went to the festival, if they fuck with anybody I fuck with. I look into everything like that because this is a community event and I want to work with bands that see the vision. And if you don't see my vision and you're just trying to use me, I'm good. I'd rather put on the same band 10 times in a row that keeps helping the festival and helps being part of the community than some band that wants to use me. Like, use me as in bring tickets to make money for yourself, because I give oh wait, did I even explain that? No.
Yeah, how did the ticket process work?
Do you want me to talk about that now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So what I do, and every time I tell people this, they kind of like, they're like, no way. But so you get paid 3 different ways at Titan Fest if you're playing it. The first way you get paid is I give bands pre-sales like this. They're physicals, and you get 50% of the ticket sale. So if you sell a single day pass, which is the day you're playing, then you'll get $10 of that ticket because it's only $20. And if you sell a weekend pass because somebody wants to go both days, then you'll get $15 of that pre-sale because they're $30. And if somebody walks up to the door, buys at the door, and they write down, oh, they're here to see your band, then you'll get $5 from those ticket sales. Oh, someone goes online, buys a ticket, puts your band name, you get another $5. So I'm giving bands 3 ways to make money off of our event.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah,
that.
like I don't make a lot of money after it's all said and done. I don't, but I could at least have every band be like, yo, dude, we made like $500 and we played for 25 minutes. And like, people be like, you really made $500? Yep. Because most bands don't. You never do unless
Oh,
you.
yeah, it's hard when you're starting out. A lot of bands are still paying to play, with the
Yeah, that's
whiskey and
fucking
stuff like
wild.
that. I know.
Um,
It's happening.
I have. I can't. I probably can't even share this story. It's so bad. It's with the Viper Room and the booking agent. She was like yelling at me through text because she wanted me to send her a deposit of like $250 to secure that I was going to play, and I was like, I'm not going to send you money to play your venue. She's like, well, when you sell your tickets, you'll get your money back. I was like, no, no, no. I was like, I live in Sacramento, not LA. I am not going to send you money and
Yes.
then pay to play your venue. Like,
That's
you're
LA though.
hiring me. And this was literally like 2 days after Titan Fest happened. I was sending her all the videos, and she was like, that looks like a really great turnout. So you guys probably sell really good here, huh? I was like, I don't know. I was
It's
like, I
LA,
have.
it's far away, and, like, it's dog eat dog and so expensive, and people are scratching and clawing in LA. So I like Sacramento better. I just feel like it's a great music scene. We all kind of know each other.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to screw each other over and, like, charge them money for things. It's just
Nope.
like, "Hey, I'm putting this event on. This costs money to put it on."
Yeah, it's like, and like that's what the whole, because like I have 2 bands. I don't give a fuck. I'll say this: I have a list on my phone of bands that will never play the festival. I
Ooh, just like
because like
bad taste in your mouth, we're
well,
rude.
yeah, because the way that they want to, one, like, oh, I've seen some really shitty comments from band members about the festival, and I was like, that's sick. I used to like your band. Fuck you and your band, because I never did anything to you or your band. I was actually gonna reach out, but now I don't want to. Anyways, but no,
Wow.
this guy was saying Titan Fest is pay to play. And I was like, how? And he's like, because I have to sell pre-sales. I was like, every band does. I was like, even if you are in New York and you are playing in Sacramento, you have to promote the fucking show. That
Yeah,
is
that's
pushing
normal.
pre-sales. There's no way you can't tell me that's not regular. I was like,
Yeah.
the difference is, as a local band, you have a sort of a job of towards your community of bringing people to the event. And it's not in the way of like, you have to give me money. It's not that. It's, I want you to sell tickets to earn money for yourself, as much money as you want, mind you. I have no limit on however much a band could sell. I don't give a fuck. You can sell 1,000 tickets or one. You're gonna get 50% no matter what. Because at the end of the day, I want at least to be able to keep my word of, I paid you 50%. That was the deal. It was up to you to make as much money as you wanted. The rest that you don't sell, you just give back to me, and that's it.
Yeah,
That, no harm,
you're
no foul.
you're giving the platform too. It's your idea that you've created, that you've established.
Yep.
So, you know what I mean? You put in the sweat and tears to do this. So, yeah. I don't know. Okay, okay. Last question I have. What is your favorite after the show snack?
I should call her. I mean, In and
Ah!
Out.
No, you did not. Oh my god. You wanna eat a hot chick after the show. I was
In and
expecting,
Out.
like, Taco Bell, oh, In-N-Out, okay. You
Yeah.
wanna get In-N-Out and call her.
No,
Oh my god. It's In-N-Out, but it closes earlier, right?
no, close
Sometimes.
at 1,
Yeah,
1:30.
okay.
No, I don't know. It depends. It used to be back in the day, it was like Denny's. Post show Denny's was like the thing. and then it was Mel's for a while, just because the '50s vibes was really nice. And then we went full circle back to In-N-Out. Once the Holy Diver closed, I feel like that was like when everyone started going back to In-N-Out.
Right, because I love their pizza and all their food, and that the kitchen stayed open later. I really miss that place.
Oh my god, so
I
Holy
wish it
Diver
would
had
reopen.
yeah. Well, they from what I was told, it's because it was not wheelchair accessible, but there was an elevator
Accessible.
apparently.
It wasn't up to code, and then I
Yeah,
also heard the pipes were leaking for the restrooms upstairs, like, it needs to be completely torn apart and new pipes and wheelchair accessible. So,
man,
that does sound expensive.
it does. But like, man, that venue like was it
It
used
just
to be
had good
called.
vibes too.
It
It
was
really had
great.
good vibes.
It
Yeah.
honestly felt like a rock star, like a speakeasy, but like with metal. Like
Yeah, like
it.
a little shithole that I loved. And then you know what I dug too? You could go sweaty and wild upstairs. And then if you like bumped into someone or your friends and you want to talk, you could go downstairs and it was a whole nother, felt like another place, even though you're inside the same place and you could hear each other and eat. So I just liked the different levels and how different the vibes were, but it's all under one roof. I liked
Yeah,
it.
I man, I miss that place. I work
No.
close to it, so I'm always so because like I do like the one wheeling thingy, so like we're
Yeah,
always
that's
riding
crazy.
next to it, and I'm like, man, I see the mural outside of it, and I'm like, dude, one day it's gonna open. Because at one point I heard someone was gonna buy, Ricky from Lionheart.
No.
Oh, do you know
But I
who
know
Lionheart?
no, but I know Lionheart, but I don't know Ricky. I don't know them. Are they thinking about saving up money and trying to buy it?
Well, a couple of years ago, he posted that Den of Sin, the people that own that biker gang,
Yeah.
they were like there was a rumor that he kind of like shared a thing on Instagram that had them tagged in it and it had Holy Diver with it. So it was like everyone was like thinking like, oh, they're all gonna buy that, move Den of Sin to Holy Diver, and everyone was super on board about it, and then nothing happened.
Ugh. Well, you never
But
know. We'll get our hopes up and, cross our fingers.
yeah, there's a venue out here actually. It's not a venue, but it's called or it was called Boston Pizza off of Sunrise. And when they were open, I asked, I was like, hey, can I put on a show here? And the girl was like, yes, that would be sick. And I was like, hell yeah. So we were like actually getting ready to put Titan Fest 2023 on there, or sorry, 2024 on there. And when I went back to go there, it would close down.
Oh, man. It's hard to
Yeah.
open a restaurant. My girlfriend owns a cafe, and it's a hit and miss. The industry is really difficult. You have to
Which
put
one
so
is
much
it?
money into it. Lanisa's Cafe
Is it in
in
Sac?
in West Sac. And so, it's hard. It's like sometimes she's in the hole 1 month because not a lot of people come by, and other times, she
I'm
does
trying to
okay.
think. Where is it at in the old Sac or West Sac?
No, in
Because I
West Sac. So, like, by my
oh
area,
West Sac.
Southport, by, like, Lowe's and
Oh,
Streets of
okay.
London and, like, that. Yeah,
I
Target.
I work off of Broadway towards the radio station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
so like right where like all the freeways are like interjecting, my job is like right under that. I'm not homeless, but it's like underneath that.
Yeah, no. Well, dude, Ryan, thank you so much. I ended up stealing you way longer than I planned, but I loved talking to you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by Steph's Rock Show podcast again. You got to come by a third time. And I definitely want to go and check out Titan Fest this year and learn everything about it. So it's awesome.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And I'm thankful that, you've kept up with me this whole time and keep asking me to
Of
come back
course.
on.
Of
I could talk
course.
way too much.
No, me